Perspective is almost everything. Sometimes it makes such a big difference in business and in life and in general. In business, I mean, if you're unhappy with where you're working and what's going on at the company or whatever it is, can you imagine what other people are going through? They're going through a similar thing, at least. Not the same thing, everyone is different, but a similar thing. And you can imagine that they're going to be riled up about different things as well. Disappointed, frustrated, whatever it is. I think it's really important, well, I know it's really important, to have the perspective of saying, what is it from their point of view? What is this situation like from their point of view? And this is not about putting yourself in somebody's shoes. I hear that all the time. Put yourself in somebody else's shoes. That can be somewhat helpful, and it can be somewhat problematic. When you're putting yourself in somebody else's shoes, the problem with that is that you're not the other person. They are going to have a different perspective. They've had a different background. They've had different everything, different home life, different whatever it is. So they are going to have differences in what they're thinking. And if you don't listen or try to examine what it would be like from their perspective, not simply if you in their shoes, you might miss some things. Okay. Here's what I want you to do, and this is really important. So again, like in business, employees, colleagues, if you're thinking about it from another person's perspective and saying, what is it like for them? If they're going through a divorce, can you imagine what's going on a daily basis for their emotional roller coaster? What happens if one of their kids died, or it can be anything, right? What if they're simply having financial troubles? On the other hand, in families, think about your partner, your kids, your parents, whoever you're living with, roommates, going, what is their perception of the world right now? When you see other people's perspective, all of a sudden it changes everything. I mentioned this in a video a little while back about one fact more, always learning what is the one thing that would change my perspective, my understanding of the situation. This is along the same lines, what I'm calling you to do today. As far as action steps, what I want you to do is get better at asking questions. Ask questions of somebody and say, hey, if somebody is off, instead of simply reacting to them, ask a question. Go, hey, you got to be careful how you say this, okay? People can get defensive. This is what I would suggest, saying something along the lines of, hey, listen, you're usually in a really good mood, or you're usually really good at this. Something seems a little bit different. Are you okay? That question is completely different. Even though it's a yes/no question, somebody can say yes or no. It's opening the door for them to share a little bit more. And then if they do or they don't, you can say, hey, listen, if there's anything I can do to help, let me know. When you become safe for people, when people can communicate with you and feel free to ask you questions or to share what's going on, you become a valuable resource to people. Now, I'm not saying do this for everyone. Do not become the safe person for the other 7 billion people on the planet, okay? It's not a long-term strategy that's going to work for you in your life. Pick the people. Having said that, becoming that person, generally speaking, in a corporation or in a family or in whatever, allows you to become a person that people will share with, that people will ask questions of. And being that safe person and having boundaries so that it's set in a time and a way that works for you as well, can be valuable in many, many ways. When you see another person's perspective, you're able to empathize with somebody. And this isn't about crying together or anything like that, although it could be. Generally speaking, it's simply going, I get this, and I get that it's hard. And if I can do something that improves the situation, some little thing that improves the situation, why wouldn't I? It'll make a difference in your family and in others. Often I find that with my wife, with my kids, I can say one little thing. I can say, hey, what's going on? You're usually really good at this. You're usually really interested in this. Whatever. What's going on? Are you okay? And immediately start sharing what's going on in their lives and in the moment, right? And then when they see that I'm listening, their mood improves. When I hear their story, I give them a little bit of empathy and grace.